It's a lie. Sooner Nation, Thunder Nation, we are back. This is the Just Okay Sports Podcast. That's just Oklahoma sports, and let's be real, it is just an okay podcast. I'm one of your village idiots, Daryl. I'm here with Troy and Jared. Please like and subscribe and follow and do all the things. We would greatly appreciate it. Fellas, how are we doing? Jared, let's start with you, actually. Are you alive? Are you good? Is the house in one piece? You have
Yeah, I
been
didn't know
in the
if I was
middle of
gonna.
a hurricane.
So for those that don't know, I've been in Canada for 2 weeks, pretty much 17 days.
Where in
Which is
Canada?
Toronto.
For work?
Work and personal,
Oh,
leisure and business.
leisure.
Yeah.
Why you got a smile on your face?
Yeah, why such a
Because I had
glowing?
fun while I was there. Why can I not have fun while I was there?
Oh.
No, it was a
That
good
is
time.
not what that
but
smile
I did
means.
fly.
That is
I
not
did
what
fly
that
back. I did fly back yesterday, which I was kind of nerve-wracked about because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to what I'm going to do if my flight doesn't get made because of the hurricane or whatever. But luckily that all didn't really it didn't do much here from everybody that I've talked to. Like it rained really hard for like yesterday. It rained pretty much all day. Even when I landed, it was still raining. But even then, it was pretty much done by the time I landed. So yeah, I didn't really do anything here, but I know some of the Florida coast did get hit. But yeah, I did make it back from Canada. So yeah. But it was it's funny because it's every time something happens here, I think the people that and even I didn't know until I moved here, and it's I guess you kind of know, but you don't really think about it. So there's never as much concern when you're in Orlando because you're inland, you're enough inland that you don't have to worry about the storm surge. And you don't have to worry about it's usually dissipated quite a bit of energy by the time it's when it hits the coast is when you're really just that's the bad part. So yeah, so it really is literally it's if you were driving around here you'd know nothing was going on. It's been sunny.
Nice.
It rained this morning really hard, and then it's been sunny all day.
Nice.
It's like a normal day in Florida.
Well, that's good. Glad everything's good. All right. You're safe.
I want to know about the smile more. I have questions about the smile.
I don't know. I do know that my cat is losing her mind. So my neighbor and I
Hold on. Is your cat in Canada?
No, my cat is here.
Okay, so let's get back to Canada. Let's get back to Canada.
My leg.
And
what? I went up there. I went up there. I didn't get to go to a Blue Jays game. Tampa Bay Rays. They got the dub. Let's go.
Nice.
I was wearing my Astros gear, which this is hilarious. Okay, I have to give a shout out. Sports is the great unifier of people. Okay, you want to know why?
I thought math was.
Shut up, Troy. But because one, of course I was wearing I rock half my wardrobe is OU gear, right? And one day I was wearing that and somebody was like, "Oh, they're like, that's Oklahoma, right?" And they stopped and talked to me about it, and they graduated from Texas Tech, but they didn't care. I think it was Texas Tech. Didn't care about football or anything, but they're like, "Oh, no, I love going to Oklahoma," and they live in Toronto now and stuff. And then when I was wearing my Astros gear, we're walking to an Astros game. That's the Blue Jays versus the Tampa Bay Rays. So but it was this is the only baseball gear I have, right? This is all I have. So I'm just gonna rock my Astros gear. Dude, I had a whole group of people, literally there's 30 people in this group. They were like, "Oh, Houston," and they just started they're like, "Dude, we're from Houston, we love it," and just started going crazy. And the people I were with were they're all from Toronto. They're looking at me dude, what? How do you know these people? I was I don't know these people, obviously. I don't, it's just
who were you
they
with?
see the sports.
Who all went with you to the game?
There was a bunch of us. My boy Castle and Drizzy, which I know them from Twitch, so I'm gonna refer to them as their Twitch name because I don't want to dox them. Castle and Drizzy, Glow Dazed, Shauna. That's actually all that went to us with the game. But yeah, that was we all just kind of went because tickets, you can get tickets to it was Looney Dog Day, by the way. So Looney is a Canadian dollar. So you got in their Canadian dollars, it's 60 cents is I don't remember, whatever the translation is, $1 US is $1.60 or whatever. I don't know how you do that math. So stupid cheap. I ate 30 hot dogs. But the tickets were only 15. I think they were 15 or $20.
Nice.
And we were sitting high up. It was I don't care. Nobody cares about this game. We're just going for the vibe. But yeah, we went and it was a good time. And we got to sit in we actually see they had the roof open. We got to the CN Towers literally right next to the stadium. Nice. So that's kind of cool to see. But yeah, it was just a good time. We got to do a lot of stuff. Went to Niagara Falls, got to see that finally. And that was a blast. I like Niagara Falls is kind of tourist trappy though. I don't know if y'all been to the Canadian side. The Canadian side's like okay, like it's got stuff to do. But I also feel like now that I've been there, I'm kind of like, yeah, cool. Like it's fine not going back there, you know.
I don't
That's
like Toronto. I'll be honest with you. Toronto is kind of like New York. I don't love New York. It's like fun to visit once, and then you're like, I'm good. And Montreal is the one I really, really, really enjoyed going to.
So you're French.
It's more historic. I don't know. I like it.
Well,
It's really
so
cool.
Toronto, the thing I like about Toronto is I do get the whole like New York aspect to it, but it's like I feel like the people in Toronto are much friendlier than they are in New York. Now that's a very low bar.
No, that is very true.
That's
They're
true of
very,
all
but the
Canadians in
the
general.
food, I will say this food,
Mhm.
the food in Toronto is like if amazing. I had
Yeah.
literally never ate anything bad while I was there. So
Nice.
It was good. It was
Very
good.
nice. Very, very
Daryl,
good.
what's going on with you?
Oh, all kinds of things. So everything in our world's breaking. My truck broke, my washer broke, my dryer broke. So I've just been getting stuff fixed for like 5 straight days. So no biggie. But
Sounds like
Where's
you're having
Nick?
a great time.
yeah. So, but luckily I had a buddy who has a shop with air conditioning that allowed me to go fix my truck in his shop, which was really nice because this is about a 2-hour fix. And
Oh, you got to do it in air conditioning? That's not even right, dude.
yes, I know.
The first time you do brakes, you have to do it in the heat. That's like a
Oh,
rite
I've
of
done
passage.
brakes before. I just never done rear brakes. But luckily, again, they were disc brakes, so it was easy. So, but usually all the vehicles I've had before have been drum, so that's a little different story. So, but the disc was fine. We got on, learned a new trick to break bolts that were stuck, which was really really fun. So,
A cheater bar?
no, we didn't have it. We didn't have one, so we had to come up with something else. And so we basically got a long handled socket and then put the jack underneath it and let the jack push
Oh,
push the socket up to get them broke, and it worked out great. So that's all that's going on with me, man. Nothing crazy.
just okay mechanic tips here, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. Troy, how about you?
I just got over COVID last week. So that's why I couldn't do the pod last Tuesday. I had the vid. I got like super Sunday afternoon, Monday it was pretty bad. And Sunday night I lost my sense of smell and taste, and I was like, I know what this is. So
Familiar with
That's
this
good.
one.
Yeah.
this one I've had a couple times before. That's
Yeah, I
all
guess
right.
it's like this. They were saying like it's like I know they've been saying down here it's like spiking like crazy. Which I thought maybe it was because of the tourism stuff just in Orlando because it's like right now everything's crazy here because it's the end of like tourist season's kind of coming to an end. You know, everybody going back to school or whatever.
Yeah.
So I
There's
figured that's
actually
why,
an
but it's
end to Florida to tourism
yeah, like
tourism
well,
in
it's
Florida.
yeah, it's like we get like a 2 week break and then it kicks off again. So
All right. But no, it's I've heard the same thing. You know, at Integris, like they're like, oh yeah, COVID's up, blah blah blah. Everybody's just like at the office are like, okay,
I
Yeah.
feel like everybody just treats it like the flu now.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
it's all it is. It's another cold or flu.
Yeah.
It can get you bad, but it's all it is.
It's crazy.
But you don't want to get other people sick, so you stay away from people's.
That's right. That's
You
right.
stay
I
away
work
from
from.
people.
That's why I work from home. I don't like people.
Well, let's talk about.
I agree.
That's why I work from home, so I can stay away from people. That's so good. Well, speaking of sick in a good way, the Olympics are still going, and today was a really, really good day for the U.S. So let's hit on that really quick before we get to some Oklahoma sports. Cole Hawker. Anybody heard that name? Anybody know
No.
Cole Hawker? Know him? No.
No.
How about
Yeah.
this? In his event in track and field, which is the 1,500 meters today, if you had placed a $100 bet on him today, he was plus 2,000 to win the 1,500 meters and pulled it out and won gold today. The U.S. taking actually gold and bronze in that event. It was an epic race. If you get a chance to go watch it, it was awesome. The women's national team has advanced to the finals on an incredible goal again today. Simone Biles won silver on one leg, which is pretty impressive to be a silver medalist with basically, your calf just shredded on the other side. Gabby Thomas won gold in the 200 meters. Noah Lyles continues his chase towards winning the 100 and the 200. And that 100-meter final was crazy. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
that
guys
was like there was like what, like three guys that were,
maybe
I mean,
four. There was
that were like
nobody farther than like a tenth off the pace, which is just not like usually that is not the case. Like
I saw somebody, I think ESPN tweeted the other day where it was like the difference between like first to last place in that race was like equivalent to like the quality. It was like some absurd stat though. It was like the margin for victory now is so narrow
yeah,
that it's like yeah, it's just insane.
it is insane. And so that was incredible. The women's bike race.
Yeah,
I
did y'all
think
see that?
is that the one where her bike broke at the very end and she
No,
had to get
no,
the
no,
new?
no. So she was, so she didn't qualify. She was actually second, but the person ahead of her that qualified had to drop out of the race. So she got to go. She's only been biking for less than a decade, which, you know,
Oh, yes,
and then
that one.
she's like, I think she's like 30 or something. Like she, you know, for Olympic age, she's up there. So it only been she's been cycling for like 8 years, I think they said, or something. Um, and like biking is like, I do know this because I've like, there's a couple of shows on Netflix and stuff, like follow like some like the Tour de France and some of those and all that. And like it's so crazy hyper competitive and all that. And those people train like their whole lives for it. Um, and she was like up there at the front. That's what's funny. She gets up there to the front and she's got the guy that was, or the lady behind her is like the favorite to win. Like she's the queen of that race.
Yeah.
And she gets up to the front and all of a sudden she just starts making a sprint. Like there's like 3 kilometers to go or whatever. And she starts making a sprint. And then she's in this group of like 4 other people and they try to keep up with her and she just drives away from them. And like you can see, like there's a clip where you see them all, like the other bike riders looking at each other. They're like, she's just gone. And she won by like 30 seconds or something. I mean, she just small, but they were like, nobody expects, she wasn't supposed to be there. She's the least experienced. Like it was just like, and it was like, and she just
That's
blew everybody
wild.
away. So just crazy.
Wow.
So, and I
Love it.
also get to be to Canada. I got to experience the chaos that was the Canada soccer team flying drones over the New Zealand practice to try to get some sort of, I don't even know. I don't like I'm gonna admit that I'm not super familiar with soccer like in a deep level like I would be football or whatever, but it's like I didn't seem like you would get as much of advantage, but like they got like docked like 6 points, which is big in your qualifying stage. And like a bunch of people got banned from FIFA and a bunch of crazy stuff. So just wild times. But it was kind of funny that I was in Canada when all that was happening. So I was giving all my Canada friends a little bit of trash talk about that.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Oh, goodness. And we'll talk about other cheating stuff here in a little bit. So, gentlemen, we are 24 days away from kickoff for the Oklahoma Sooners. 24 days. There are 3 more Fridays, and the 4th one is game day Friday because they open on a Friday night. It does not seem like football should be this close at all, but it is. And it is upon us. So, now, we are about a week into fall camp. And we're going to give you as much information as we can when it comes to that. Things that we do here, things that we get privy to, and just things that we see on social media and articles and stuff like everybody else. Now, here's the problem, okay? Fall camp is very hard to figure out what you actually have, right? For instance, if the reports come out, well, the defensive line was absolutely terrorizing the offense. Well, is that because they're great or the O-line's terrible, right? If the O-line's dominating, is the D-line terrible, et cetera, et cetera. You don't really know what's out there and what's going on. Not to mention experience, the system matters, all the different things. I mean, look, a year ago this time, does anybody remember the name that we were continuing to hear was going to be the game changer for the Oklahoma Sooners?
Like we do this every offseason. Like we do this every training camp.
Gavin Freeman.
But like
Gavin Freeman was the name from every player and every coach.
I don't remember that last year.
You know, I will say changed the game because everybody changed to hating his guts.
Well, and he's an Oklahoma State Cowboy now. He is an Oklahoma State Cowboy now.
Yeah,
he is transferred
that didn't
out.
really help his.
So I say all that to say, now look, we're still going to give opinions and thoughts on all the things, but like the 30th, August 30th, that's when we're going to know. We're going to learn more about this team for real then, but we're still going to try to give you some input. So obviously lots of videos have come out, lots of little tidbits, things have come out. So let's just start with the things that we've seen from practice time, from all those things. Jared, anything that has stood out to you in the little social media propaganda posts to the videos of media getting to view sections of practice, things like that? Anything from that angle that's kind of stood out to you so far?
I mean, look, like some of the guys, Taylor Tatum, by the way, like if you just line him up, I don't know how you would think that kid's a freshman. Like physically
Dude,
speaking.
Jared, I told this to Daryl yesterday when we were
You
on the
did?
phone. I said, when you watch him run, he just looks different, man.
Mm-hmm.
He just looks incredible, special from as a true freshman. He just looks different.
Yeah, he has like that weird, like even when I saw him, there was the one where he was just I don't remember what drill they were doing, but it's just like you can just tell he has that suddenness even to him. He just has like
It's a
where
good
it's like
word. Yeah.
yeah, he just has like the sudden, just the movement, the 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 burst, and but the thing is, he still has size. Like you look at him, and it's like he's not a tweener. Like he looks like, as we are just talking about, like he looks like he could go out there and just absolutely truck anybody on the field. Like I mean, he looks like a full grown dude.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, there is something when you watch some of these videos, like the way guys move is just different, right? And it looks effortless, and yet you can tell it's fast or it's violent and they're not trying. And I
Right.
mean, I would agree. I hadn't really seen much about him. And then after Troy told me that, I was digging through everything, trying to find different clips of him and stuff. And he looks really good. And here's the other thing. He has never given a full year of preparation to football in his life because he's a very legit baseball player. And I don't know that he will this year for OU because he's going to play baseball for OU this year. I mean, that's going to happen. And so it's going to be really fascinating to see whichever side, baseball or football, that he gives his full attention to, where he goes from there. But it's obvious that he's capable of doing both, and it looks pretty great. And looks pretty good. So I really have enjoyed that. Troy, has there been anything else that stood out to you as you've just kind of seen clips and moments and practice videos, those kinds of things so far to you?
I mean, I would say from some of the coaches speak, getting away from videos, but like when Brent is asked about Peyton Bowen and they said, is he going to get more playing time? He's going to be on the field more this year. And his almost correct me if I'm wrong, but his quote was something like, if he's not out there, I don't know who else is going to be.
Yes, that was what he said.
It's like, so that means the dude's going to be on the field, and he's going to be on the field a lot, if not starting.
Yeah.
Speaking of video, going back to videos, did y'all see the video of his interception though?
Yes.
What's
Yes.
What's funny is the top. I don't remember who it was, so maybe this is just okay reporting. But somebody, like the top comment when I looked was Kanai Walker's face is all of us right now, and it was like you could see him in the background. He was just like could not believe what he had
Well,
just
and
seen.
then OU put that out. They actually put a double, two different files, if you will, the video, and then if you swiped over, it was a zoomed in shot of Kanai just going, like through his helmet, like watching Peyton Bowen. And apparently the video does not do it justice, because even BV said when they let the ball go, that Bauer Sharp looked like he was wide open, and then Peyton just closed the gap completely down and then snatched the ball with one hand, which is just
he
crazy.
made plays last year in the limited time he was on the field. Imagine if he's got extended minutes and he's got full starter minutes. Like, it could be nasty. There's a couple other things. Caden Helms at 240.
Yeah,
he looks good, man. He looks the part right now. And at 240, even though he still looks kind of like a wide receiver still, like, that could be the dude that makes a big difference in the blocking and running game, or receiving game. And the other thing is, I'm going to steal your thunder, Daryl, because I know you're going to call this one out. So I'm going to say it first.
Oh gosh.
The rotation on how everybody is playing, and if you look, who's the starters at linebacker? Daryl, if you would, please.
Stutzman and Lewis Carter.
Even though Kip Lewis does look like a Greek god.
He looks different.
I'm still holding my Kip Lewis stock. I'm
Dude,
still
Oh,
holding
I
it.
don't.
Here's-
I don't take that as you shouldn't.
I
by the
agree.
way,
Agreed.
I don't
Agreed.
think that is a you shouldn't.
I think there's 4 or 5 linebackers that would start with most teams
Yes.
across the entire country, including Georgia, Bama, and all them.
Yeah, and I think right now, especially linebacker, probably linebacker and defensive tackle, honestly, are at a depth level right now where I think they're going to have their passing down specialist and their run down specialist.
I would say safeties too.
There's a chance. But the thing is, I think they're going to play 3 safeties. I think they're going to play RSJ, Bowen, and Bowman a lot.
So if they do that, if they do that, that means they're going to bring one more into the box a lot of the time,
which would probably be RSJ.
I was going to ask you that it feels like the RSJ move is to do like the Roy Williams type of role,
yes.
but
and look, we never know. I want to be clear about this. OU does. They have a track record, and this is not us doing anything, but just this is what they do. The people at the front of the line are the people they expect to be players. Like those are the starters. Like if you see a group of 5 and whatever drill line going first, that's the number ones going. Now, Kip could have tweaked an ankle at the end of, day 2. And they do kind of have a policy. If you don't practice the day before, you don't get those reps. So it could be something as simple as that. But here's the other thing. Kip and Kobe came in together. And when they were both freshmen, they were still kind of throwing Kanik up there with Stutzman a lot. And Kip and Kobe played together. So again, I think some of this depth stuff they have could easily be like, okay, we're going to do a line change and it's going to be Kobe and Kip because they gel together so well that they're going to play a lot together. And I still think Kip could play with Stutzman. But again, I also know that they would much prefer Stutzman to be the weak side backer and not the Mike backer, right? And so from everything I've heard, Lewis Carter is a Mike. And so it could just be as simple as that of they like that combination better, and then they're going to rotate them that way.
Are you telling me the coaches are trying to put their players in their best position?
God.
Is that what you're saying?
I think that might be what I'm
saying. Okay, I did hear about something from another school about that with ties to Oklahoma. You guys know what I'm
oh boy, I'm not
throwing down?
I don't know exactly.
Like the Caden Green stuff. They paid him left tackle money and he couldn't cut it at left tackle. They moved him back to guard. Idiots.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I still back the mic for just 1 second? Because there's something that I also want to bring up. Defensive tackle, we've already talked about him a lot, but now you're hearing the players themselves, not even just coaches. Like you're not hearing coach speak, you're hearing Dominic Williams, who's they threw the bag at to get to come to OU,
right?
Who's a pretty proven commodity that knows what he's doing. And he's been singing a lot of praises about David Stone and our boy Jaden Jackson.
Yes.
Jaden Jackson.
There is a great video of just the guys just standing out there stretching, but David Stone's in it. Bro, he looks physically, he looks legit. Oh man, Jaden looks more ready from a physical standpoint, just size-wise, but Stone is that flat-bellied D-line guy that, man, if he just puts a few more pounds on and gets some things figured out. But yeah, Dominic Williams saying that he just giggles when he thinks about Jaden Jackson and David Stone being the guys next year. That's pretty good praise from a guy that was a freshman All-American.
He said they're doing things that us as seniors are still trying to do.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go. I will hold to this until midseason where we suck. This will be the best defense we've had since 08 or 07.
I want to go there. I'm still not there yet. I still got to see the edge come together. I'm still not a full believer in our edge play right now. That's the only thing that keeps me from it.
Hey, on the flow, do you have the coaches poll reactions?
No, I did not. I did not actually.
I have something about this.
Okay, let's go coaches poll.
Did you see the coaches poll, Jared?
Yes.
So here's on our schedule, right? We have, and I'm just going by the coaches poll. We play the number 4, number 5, number 6, number 11, number 15, and and I missed the number 12 on the schedule. That is just from the preseason poll, that is a ridiculous schedule.
Yeah, it is. And that's
it ain't
one of
gonna
the
get easy. It's gonna be the SEC for us, boys.
No, I know. It's just
It-
and what's Texas
it
have?
it is, but again, this is why I'm not ready to run like some OU fans are about how great of a year we're going to have. It has nothing to do with I don't think our team's good. But like, I'm sorry, Missouri's schedule in the SEC.
Oh, it's so
If we
stupid.
had that schedule, I'm in 10. If BV doesn't get 10 wins, I have serious questions.
If Missouri doesn't get 10 wins, that's a problem.
Right. If Texas doesn't get 10 wins, I have serious questions. And I don't think either of those teams are world beaters. I think Texas is really good. I think Missouri's really good, but they're not Georgia, Ohio State. Like, they're nowhere near that.
I'll be that guy. I think Texas is the most overhyped team in the nation.
I think Missouri is. I do.
Missouri at least has the best receiver in college football on their team.
Cool. Good for you.
Well,
and I think Brady Cook is okay.
Here's the problem. But again, here's the problem. Their record is going to say otherwise. That's the problem. To me, the team that's the most overhyped, because we've seen 2 years of them not do well, and we've seen 2 years of a quarterback that doesn't really look like he knows what he's doing, is Clemson. Clemson has not been a top 15 team for 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
And tell me how LSU's in the top 12 too.
Yeah, that's just
that
recruiting probably. Here's a team. Here's another. I'll pick another team to pick on that's outside the SEC. Penn State. Penn State is overhyped to me. I think Penn State has a massive amount of talent. Like, they have some dudes on that defense, but they do every year. They always get subpar QB play, and then anytime they play anybody with a pulse, they get blown out.
Their schedule, I don't think you guys have looked at their schedule. Their schedule is easy. So
here it is. I've got it right here for you. They open with West Virginia, at West Virginia.
I'm still gonna say win.
Kent State,
win.
Illinois,
win.
UCLA,
win.
USC,
win.
Wisconsin.
I think that's more of a toss up, but I'm at Wisconsin. I'll go toss up. I don't know. I could see them winning that.
Ohio State,
loss.
Washington,
win, because they lost everybody. They lost freaking everybody.
Yeah, Washington's probably not being good. Yeah.
Purdue,
win.
Minnesota,
win.
Maryland,
win. They're going to be in the playoff.
They play 3 teams that
I see. Here's the thing. I think that's
an
easy schedule, but for one, I hate James Franklin. I think is one of the.
Yeah, I agree.
Hate that guy. But
I think the same of Drinkowitz.
No, I understand. Agree. But what I'm saying is if you look at Penn State typically drops a game they shouldn't lose.
Sure.
If they play USC, I don't get me wrong, guys. I'm on the I hate USC train, but USC is the type of team that would go in and beat Penn State. Even a team like a UCLA,
I'm going to disagree with you, because USC cannot handle physical teams. Penn State is still a physical team. Penn State will run them through like they will.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is where I think some of that coaches poll, it just depends. Like, I think some people vote those polls based on the talent level, and I think some people vote those polls on where they think teams will end up based on their schedule. And that's, again, the problem. And we keep saying it, and we're going to say it until, look, the team, like, I want them to prove me wrong. But not only do you have the most difficult schedule in the country, you have bye weeks before all of them. It just makes it that much harder.
I have an idea. Maybe we don't do it this week. Maybe we do it like on the next pod or whatever. But I had an idea. Preseason, we should pick who we think would win the conference championship for every conference, every big Power Four conference.
No, let's do it. Let's do it.
That would be
Let's,
fun.
Okay.
Troy's like,
That's
right
gonna-
now. I'm going right
No, no,
now.
Okay, well, I'll start. I'll start off.
No, no,
we'll
no.
go. We'll go. I'll lead the.
Okay.
I'll call out the conference, and you can tell me. Big 12.
Utah.
Kansas State.
It'll be between 4 teams, honestly. Utah, Kansas State, Arizona, and OSU. And Kansas may be up there.
Kansas will be a player.
I think Kansas. I mean, Jaden Daniels is that. Yeah, it's his name, Jaden Daniels. If he's go do that, I think people forget how good he is.
Their offense is great, but their defense is liability.
Yeah, well, we know about that. We won a bunch of them. Yeah, I'd probably go Utah
Okay.
on that one.
Next conference.
ACC.
The freaking ACC. God, the Reddit stepchild that nobody wants these days.
Yeah.
Daryl, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
I mean, I want to say Florida State, but they've lost a lot. And that is tough. There's a lot of people high on Miami, and everybody's going to continue to be high on Clemson. Yeah, I'll go Florida State.
Jared, who do you think?
I agree. I think Florida State's lost too much. Miami, I just can't buy the hype. Like how
I know. Nope.
Hey, Jared, we lost audio.
You muted yourself.
I'll go. So I'm going to go on. I agree with everything that you all saying. I think Florida State might be the most talented on paper, but Clemson might be the best. I'm actually going to go NC State. Their schedule is super easy in the ACC. And I think if they get hot and confident in the ACC championship, they can beat whoever.
Yeah. I mean, it's that conference, and I think the Big 12 are the most interesting as far as it's very wide open. I mean, there's nobody in there that I'm overly confident about.
No. Listen to their Go ahead.
I'm back,
You
by
there?
the way. Sorry, it
All right,
apparently
you're back.
stopped my video.
Yes, sorry.
No. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, my cat unplugged something, so I had to fix that.
Oh, super fun. Like NC State's schedule is at Clemson, tough, right? And I'm just talking about ACC schedule. At Clemson, then Northern Illinois, Wake Forest, Syracuse, Cal, Stanford, Duke, Georgia Tech, North Carolina. That's so easy.
Yeah, agreed.
That's ridiculously easy. So I think they've got some pieces to do it. All right, so Jared, we lost you for a second. I said NC State because their schedule is super, super easy, insanely easy. They've got some pieces coming back. Who are you saying in the ACC?
Oh, let me look at something real quick.
I mean, you've got the Florida States, the Miamis, the.
I'm gonna pick a dark horse. I'm gonna.
That's what I just did with NC State.
SMU.
I mean, I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either.
I think they have a good amount of talent that they've brought in. Like they hit the transfer hard. They really don't. When you look at it, they're playing Florida State is by far their toughest challenge on their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And like I just said, Florida State lost a lot. I still think they're a really good team, and I think that's going to be a dogfight of a game if SMU's who I think they are. But outside of that, I don't look at that schedule and go, anybody really do I think that they're worse than.
Yeah. What about the Big Ten?
Ohio State.
Yeah.
Jared, you're nodding your head. You're going to Ohio State?
I mean, I don't want to pick them, but dude, they're the best team on paper by far.
I agree. I'm going Oregon because of Dylan Gabriel. Who's got more experience at quarterback?
Probably Oregon with Dylan.
There's no probably. It is Oregon. There's nobody in the country that has as much experience as Dylan Gabriel.
I don't know. Cam Rising is
No, he's been injured for 3 years. He doesn't have the
That's-
experience that Dylan has. You know what I'm talking about here.
They're even in experience. Let's
No,
because
no,
seriously, Cam's in like
I
his
can't
7th
concede that.
year.
I get it, and he's only played like 2 of them.
3 or 4. Anyways. I mean, that's fine, but again, I just think
I
they're
mean,
young.
they have more experience than Kyle McCord. I'll say
Yes,
that.
but
A lot
everywhere
more.
else, I think Ohio State has just as much or more experience.
I don't disagree. I do not
I
disagree whatsoever.
definitely think in that conference, I still don't buy Penn State, and I still I think Michigan is going to be a dumpster fire this year, if I'm being honest, and I hate that for Sherman Moore.
I don't think so. Their D line, dude, their trenches. If you really,
They still have so much.
Their trenches are full.
Yeah, but there's just so much.
That's a game changer.
I think there's just so much. It's like the lingering effect, though, that now that Harbaugh's left, especially, and you have all this stuff coming down with the investigations and the sign stealing, whatever, like all this stuff that just keeps coming out. I think that's just going to keep dragging stuff onto them, and I just don't think they're as good.
I mean, I understand your thought on that, but for me, I mean, all that stuff was there for them last year, and it didn't affect them, and they won a national championship. So, but
All
the
right,
Harbaugh
SEC.
effect would be interesting. Georgia.
Jared, you going Georgia too? You're going the Longhorns, aren't you? You rep.
No, I'm not.
Thanks, Troy.
I'm not going Texas. No chance. I won't pick them ever for anything.
I just don't want to pick. I just want to pick Georgia also.
Well, nobody wants to pick. Like, that's not the point. It's who's gonna do it. It did bring me joy to say Georgia. It's just the reality that
I
they
know,
have like
but I know if we all pick Georgia, then this is dumb.
No, it's the truth.
I'm gonna go Alabama.
Yeah.
I'm going Georgia.
Which, by the way, that's another reason for Ohio State is Caleb Downs is there now. So,
hey, here's a real question: if Georgia gets in the playoffs last year, do they win the national championship?
Probably,
yeah.
So what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? Now we have a way where they would have gotten in if we had the 12-team playoff last year. They probably run roughshod throughout the whole thing.
Now, look, I think it would be a great game. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't say that as like, I mean, that spread's like 2.5 points. Sure. Because I think Michigan was that good last year. But, I mean, yes, I don't think any of us, I think we all understand from a talent perspective, everyone's chasing Georgia still right now. It's Georgia and Ohio State that you are chasing on the talent. Now, coaching-wise, I don't think Ryan Day is anywhere near Kirby Smart. If you ask me between those two, I'd take Kirby from a X's and O's perspective every time. But
I do think I do like my hot take, and I've said this a little while. Georgia's got about 2 to 3 years left of being successful.
Ooh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not there.
They've got too much. There's too much stuff going on where like you look at it and it's like the Florida Gators teams of like the 08s where everybody just thought Florida was going to be dominant for 20 years. But you find out that there's 30 people getting arrested. What was it? Like there's like a stat the other day that it's like
you're not wrong.
50 something % of the teams that played on the Florida like 08 to 10 teams have been arrested since then. And it's like it's the same thing. I mean, I'm the guy that says culture is a big factor, and Georgia is slowly building a bad culture.
Hey, Jared, I want to give you kudos. That was Troy level, like going off script there. That was great.
You're welcome. I'm trying to channel the chaos, you know.
Well, let's pull back to script and actually talk some Oklahoma sports now. Okay, so we talked about the videos and things. Has there been anything said? Because we have a lot of content between the media days.
I already brought it up.
You said yours, yes, but the rest of us didn't. We still talked videos. So, Jared, is there anything that's been said by players or coaches that has really caught your attention and stood out to you?
Well, I did say the Dominic Williams thing, what he was talking about, those guys. The one that stood out to me, though, was I think it was Jackson Arnold. Like a bunch of people have talked about Peyton Bowman. Bowman
Yeah.
is apparently just elevated himself and is standing out. I mean, obviously he should, but people have called his name out so much that it's like um I feel like I mean anxious to see what we're gonna see on the field. Um but yeah, I mean everybody's saying like he's just so much bigger. He's able to cover so much better. He's able to move. I mean, it's just everything you hear. It's just everything about his game has gotten better. So
Yeah.
and that's one of those areas like I feel like that area, while we had a lot of really bright spots throughout the year, was also very inconsistent. So I'm just interested to see how consistent he can be with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. There
What have you
were
heard?
three.
What have you heard, Daryl?
There were three things that have stood out to me that I've really, really liked, and I thought, man, that could really be something. The first one was Jackson Arnold at SEC Media Days. I believe it was when he was on. He did a short interview with that SEC podcast, and he said at one point they were asking him something about coming into this year and how just cool it was to be the starter at OU. And his response was, he goes, "It's an incredible honor." He goes, "With the way I played against Arizona in the bowl game, the fact that BV didn't bench me is incredible. And I have an opportunity to make that right now, you know?" And he kind of went on that track. And so just the humility, you know, to not, like, for instance, I think a Spencer Rattler would have been like, I mean, we almost won the game. I don't know why everybody's upset, right? Like that kind of demeanor and those kinds of things, because that was kind of
Which
Spencer Rattler's vibe, right?
I also want to toot my own horn a little bit. There's been a little bit of like talk about Spencer Rattler at training camp for the Saints. Just saying.
Yeah.
I just said he might be good. I don't like the guy. I don't like the guy. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
He can spin a football.
But him saying that, he didn't he didn't downplay it as, well, it was my first start. He didn't downplay it as I was still learning things. He straight up said, I played bad. And it would have been okay if BV said, I'm not the starting quarterback, you know, and then he turned it into, I'm so grateful that he believes in me and I want to prove that right. I love that mentality and attitude out of him. I think that's awesome. The other thing that I think that I've really liked, and I don't know what this looks like. There hasn't been a follow-up question, which makes me, this is where I wish I was a media member, where I could go, okay, like, what does that mean? Right? Like when you say that, as opposed to them just giving a ramble answer and then everybody moves on. But they were asking about just this offseason, and Bowman, Stutzman, and there was somebody else that have all said, we came together as a group and decided that our mission for this summer was to make Schmitty say, to give Schmitty the best summer he's ever had. Like, you don't hear that ever.
Right.
You hear guys go, we just want to survive Schmitty. This group somehow, some way took it upon themselves to say, we want to give him the summer that he looks back on and goes, I never had a team work like that. And that takes something, because all those guys talk about how hard Schmitty is. And if they really did attain for that, I do believe we'll see big dividends through the season in a huge way over that. And then the last thing that I like is hearing Seth Luttrell and BV say that they did not protect Jackson Arnold in the spring. And what I mean by that is Seth Luttrell told Jackson, your decision-making has to be better. And then he went to BV and said, the way we make him better is you throw everything that you have in your playbook at him. And so it was their goal and their mission to confuse him and to just break him down through the spring and through the summer. And I do think that that could pay huge dividends moving forward.
So, speaking of Jackson Arnold, what has been some of the consensus about how his camp over the spring and now the first few days of training camp has been?
I have not heard a lot, to be honest. Now, when you listen to the players get asked about him, the thing you do hear is just leadership. They all talk about his tools and how he's got an arm and all those things, but what they just keep saying is his leadership, which I think is a big thing for sure. But you don't hear a lot about, oh yeah, he's just, dude, he's unbelievable, or man, he's doing things we've never seen done before, which gives you a little pause because, like, when Caleb Williams, for instance, like, that was something the players were saying all the time was like, dude, stuff he did in practice was just like, whoa. And I have not heard that yet, but I've heard leadership. But again, they're also very coached up on what to say and what not to say, all those different things. So I
Even
don't
like
know.
I listened to Teddy and Gabe's last podcast I did, I think from 2 days ago or whatever. And like even they were like talking about, and they're like, look, the dude can spin the ball. Like there's no really question about if you, like, again, like I was saying with Spencer, it's like he can take a ball and throw it in a trash can at the other end of the field. Like that's not a problem for him. But they're like, we're not going to know. It's hard to say right now what his decision making is going to be, and they're not going to let any of the players say too much about that.
And Gabe even went on as far as to say that his decision making's been good, but it needs to be quicker. He said that there were still too many times where he was taking too long to make his final decision and put things where he needs to put it. So,
and even I remember because he was talking about, I know like in that podcast I talked about Landry Jones, and he was like, the thing about Landry was Landry's decision making was so fast. He's like, he wasn't athletic, like he stood in the pocket. If he had to run, then we were screwed. And but he's like, he made decision makes so quick. A guy that we're not even talking about that I have heard like some people, like there's been a lot of, I feel like a little bit of buzz around, is Michael Hawkins.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say that he's trying to, like, he's going to steal the job. I'm just saying that I do think he has the mentality of, I'm going to come in and act, I'm going to try to be the day one starter, whether I think it's going to happen or not. I'm going to do everything I can to.
And
I do
Teddy,
love that mentality.
I do too. And Teddy even said from a understanding standpoint of what to do and where to go with things, that he is farther along as a true freshman than he thought Jackson Arnold was, that's a big deal. Like, and so I continue to say this. Everybody keeps saying, well, we're so glad that Casey Thompson is healthy. And I'm telling you, if Jackson Arnold gets hurt, I don't believe Casey Thompson runs on the field. I did
hear that Hawkins was running with twos.
Yeah.
I
just think his tools are too much to keep off the field.
Yeah.
You gotta at least give him a shot. If you're really wanting to win and move forward, you got to give him a shot. So, again, it's early. It's, we'll see what comes of it all. But look, man, the biggest thing for this team, I think too, that we're just not going to know till the season, is just health. I mean, a big component of this team is going to be health. And then, the guys, there are certain guys that have to take huge jumps this year. R. Mason Thomas has to be healthy and has to be this elite pass rusher we've heard that he is this year, all year long. Trace Ford, if he's going to play, has to get back to those OSU years of being a pass rusher for this defense to be elite. PJ's got to find something. And again, he looks like a freak in all the things you see. But when you watch him, even in drills, I said this last week on the pod, I know neither of you listened to it. He's as stiff as a Baptist pastor. He has no fluidity, and he does not have much flexibility or bend on the line of scrimmage, and that limits what he can do on the pass rush scale of things. And if he doesn't get that, he's going to look great in a uniform, but he's never going to be, anything like an Eric Stryker or Obo Okoronkwo or Nick Benito at all. And that's what we brought him in thinking he was.
Yeah, I mean, God, it could be Eric Stryker and Obo. Geez, like those guys were
specialists, man. And just
I remember seeing Stryker. I thought murder a man at the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
I was 100% certain that he was dead. I was like, that man is not getting up. Ever.
Everything you hear about Florida football was Eric Stryker. That swag, that confidence, like physical, like he was it, man. Like he was it. So,
yeah.
Anyways, anything else fall camp wise for today you guys can think of?
I got nothing.
All right.
Nope.
Very good. We were going to very quickly, just in general college football news, it's already been alluded to, but it is obviously coming out that Michigan did a lot of cheating And Jim Harbaugh was asked about it, and his response was, I teach everybody not to lie, cheat, or steal, and I have nothing to apologize for. Really quick thoughts on that, Jared.
I don't know. I mean, I don't like Jim Harbaugh. I'll be that guy. I don't like Jim Harbaugh. I think he's a snake oil salesman, man. I mean, I like he goes places. When he was at the Niners before, like after he left, everybody was like, we didn't like that guy.
But they won.
They won, but then they fell apart. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. I like there's no way. It's one of those things that when you just take a step back and you think about it, there's two possibilities if what he says is true or not true. Either he's telling the truth and he's just a complete idiot that turned his nose blind eye to everything and had no control over his program.
Right.
Or he knew and he was pulling the strings and is now trying to just hide and preserve his legacy or whatever you want to call it.
Either way you look at it, it's not great.
Yeah, it's not good either way. So
yeah, it was just, I mean, as much as I hate to say it, I'd rather you just say no comment, like than go down that, because there's too much evidence. Like, he may not have orchestrated it. To me, the best case scenario is he did not know but found out, but he did not shut it down either. And even so, that's not okay. It's not a good thing, not a good look. So anyways, Josh Giddey did his best attempt today to try to knock Serbia out of the Olympics. Dude, I got to say, man, just Olympic wise, I know he's not a Thunder anymore, but kind of Josh Giddey will always be Thunder. He's had a very good Olympics, man. Been really happy for him. Think he's played really, really well. You know, I know he had a really bad last play today in overtime against Serbia, but man, the dude is balled out really well, and I hope nothing the best for him. And then, man, Lou Dort and Shea, bro. Troy, this is your wheelhouse, bro. Like, how fun has this been to watch these guys in the Olympics?
Great. It was great until Jamal Murray and Dylan Brooks thought they were the stars of the team. They can't carry crap right now. Yeah. Like get out of here. But yeah, Josh will always have a good place in our hearts, and we hope that he goes 20-10-10 in his career, you know, with Chicago and whoever else he plays for. But he just wasn't going to have the development. Once Shea, you couldn't hold Shea back anymore. That was it.
Yeah.
That was game over for Josh, honestly. And Presti tried to make it work for 2 years. And so it just wasn't gonna work. But and by the way, Josh was great all Olympics until the second half of the Canada game where Lou Dort goes on him instead of Dylan Brooks, and Lou Dort just completely shuts him down.
Yeah, 100%. Which just tells you how good he is. Yeah. By the way,
I do want to mention like two things real quick. So one, did y'all see? This is off topic a little bit. The Turkish shooter guy. Did y'all see that? Have y'all seen the memes about that guy?
Yes.
100% that dude is an assassin.
He's an assassin. Like the fact that he just got his hand in his pocket and he's just I'm like, bro, that dude is 100%. That's a hitman. So yeah, that was pretty wild. But yeah, it was kind of funny also. That was another thing being in Canada. Like, I'd be like, you guys cheering for like the basketball team? We're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, like SGA. And they're like, who's SGA? Like, nobody knows. It's so weird.
Oh my gosh.
And also Australia has a weird beef with us. Have y'all seen all that? Like, Australia's got this weird rivalry with us in the Olympics. Mostly swimming, but like everything now, like they're trying to make everything.
Yeah, swimming's been a war forever. That and even some beach volleyball on occasion has been a pretty big rivalry, but I didn't know it was like spreading out more than that.
Yeah, like apparently, they're all trying to. It's kind of fun. I always just love the Olympics. It just like spices things up. Like I don't watch any of these sports until the Olympics come around.
Dude.
I think the decathlon is highly underrated.
You know what else is highly y'all will probably disagree. For me, is highly underrated. Badminton. Holy cow! Like, badminton in my backyard sucks. Watching those guys play badminton, holy cow!
Did y'all see? Okay, here's another one. The Americans win against Australia, I believe it was. Win bronze. Did y'all see that game?
You're talking about rugby.
Rugby. Yeah, the women's rugby, like they had like 20 seconds left, and the girl,
we talked about it on the last pod.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, my bad.
Went nuts on it. Like the last play of the game to take it the full length of the field was just insane.
I also saw one. There was a water polo. It was the water polo. Have y'all ever watched that?
Yeah.
Water polo is insane to watch, dude. Like I'm exhausted for those guys. Because you like in my head, I was just always thought like, like every time it reminds me, it's like you think they're like in a 3-foot pool. It's like, no, dude, they're like in 12-foot deep water or whatever, and they're treading, and like I'm like, dude, these guys are crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that sport is wild. So all right, well, that's that on the sports.
hold on.
Hold on.
Not on the sports.
Sorry. No, what?
Next week we're going to be talking about sports in a different manner. It's going to be our fantasy football blowout
Yes.
extravaganza next week.
Yes.
And it's really Daryl and I's excuse to do research before our draft so we can talk about it. That's really what it's all about.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be great. So yes, we will be talking a lot of fantasy football next week. So if you're into it, Troy, how many championships do you have in our league?
I have 2.
I have 2 as well. And I've been to the finals 4 times. You've been to the finals
3 times.
Or are we both 3? We're both 3 because we're tied.
We're both 3. I think we're both 3 on the
So
finals.
and our league is 12 years old. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And
we've never faced each other in the finals.
I know. Which I'm kind of glad, really, because I would either way, it would be no fun whatsoever. And by the way, Jared got kicked out of his league because he dominated it too hard.
Dude, I'm sorry. I was playing with people that don't know what fantasy football is. Okay, so it's free money. But also the other one, I still believe the other one folded because it was a keeper league, right? Like it was I had Lamar Jackson. We had like a $200 budget. And it was like the way our budgets increased was like it can only go up $1 basically because it went up 10%. Or if it was $10, if it was $1, then it went up
They had a
$1.
terrible system for keepers. Let's just say that.
But I had Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, Baker Mayfield, CeeDee Lamb, and Joe Mixon, I think it was, all for like under $5 in a $200 budget league.
Oh,
and I got to keep their contract as long as I wanted.
Yeah,
and I won the league last
their
2
contracts
years.
never ended, so he just got to hang on to this super team for 10 years.
Yeah, that's
run the league.
crazy. We have our league has so many rules to it, but it makes it so fun and keeps it even. And it's really the greatest league on earth. I'll be honest with you.
And we took over the Oklahoma News Waves this year because of our punishment.
We really did
for the league.
Not your and I's punishment because we didn't get last.
We didn't. It
was Jimmy's.
It was Jimmy's punishment. That's right. That's right. So, all right, Troy, we got a top 5 today.
We have a top 5 today. All right. So, in honor of Deadpool, let's say that. Because, by the way, did you guys see Deadpool?
I have not seen
it was phenomenal.
It was a blast. It was so over the top. Daryl, I'll tell you this. I don't know if I told you this already. So we bought tickets weeks ago, right? For that Thursday night. And JC realizes like 2 weeks before, she's like, oh, I'll be at kids camp all week. And I was like, okay, do you want me to try to get tickets for Friday? She's like, no, I'll want a respite. I want to get away from kids. We'll go have date night. Well, she comes home Thursday afternoon. We go on a date Thursday night. She's coming off of this what y'all know is the God High in a church camp, right? And then I take her to see this monstrosity of a movie that's like everything not God, honestly. And the whole time, and it's funny, it's great, it's so over the top, but the whole time I'm thinking like, why did I do this? Lord, I am so sorry. And she goes like, it was good, but like it just wasn't the right time. And I was like, I knew it. I should have changed. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
But anyway, in honor of that, we are we've never done this. We've always done our favorite sports movies, just top 5 movies, period, of all time for us. Okay. Who wants to start this shindig?
Oh, Jared, all day.
Jared, if you start at 1, I will shame you. Start at 5 and then go up.
Okay. Daryl tried to abbreviate his, but I know at least 3 of them. 4 or 5 of them.
What would be even cooler, because y'all are brothers, if you could predict the others.
I don't. Two of them I don't know at all.
Okay. All right.
I don't think
I
that's
could
mine.
probably
Okay.
get. I could
I'll
probably
start
get
with
three
my.
of his.
I'll
don't
start with
say
my
it because we'll leave the top 5 out
Yeah.
there, but like just tell us afterwards if you
Yeah. Yeah.
would have hit it.
honorable. I'll start with my honorable mentions. Right. The Departed.
Mm.
Interstellar. And Snatch.
Oh my gosh. That is an interesting list to be
Yeah.
honorable mentions to your top 5. Okay. This might go totally different than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
All good movies, don't get me wrong, but just not top 10
here's
for me.
I'm going to drop a rule on you right at the last second. Okay.
Okay.
It can't be a series of movies. If it's a trilogy or 5, it has to be one of the movies. I'm sorry. Has to be one movie.
I've followed the rules so far.
Thank you. And I knew Daryl was not about to, so
I know he's.
I
already know one of them because
nards.
I told you to. Whatever. 5. The Gentleman.
Is that okay? Is that really that good? I know it's like 8
It's
hours
good.
long
It's not
on
top
Netflix.
5 worthy. I'm sorry.
Is it
That's
really
not
that good?
It may be recency bias. I really love Guy Ritchie.
Okay.
So let me put it this way. I'm gonna push back.
If you haven't seen it, Troy, you will love it. It's great, but it is not top 5 worthy.
It's
not.
I would put like I kind of lump it and like Rock and Roll and some of other Guy Ritchie movies together, but I just picked The Gentleman. 4, Fury.
Okay.
Brad Pitt.
Okay.
Right.
3, Prestige. The Prestige.
Ooh, that's
an
a good
early
flick.
Nolan.
That's an underrated Nolan.
That
flick,
is an
honestly.
underrated.
Yes, very much. That was like his first bigger budget. You know.
It was his second movie after what was it called?
Memento.
Was it his second movie?
I think it was either the second one after or the one after.
Okay, all right.
2. This one is y'all are gonna like what the crap. 2, Wall-E.
I can't. Like,
how do you not love Wall-E, bro? How do you both?
I love Wall-E. I don't put it in my top 5 movies of all time. And Daryl, would you have guessed that as your?
No, I haven't got one. Okay. I'm just telling you right now. I have not got one. None. I have failed as being a brother. That's what's happened right now.
Well, we've known that for 36 years. 1.
All right. What's your one?
1 is not a hard guess. Top Gun.
Okay. The first one?
Sure.
Or the second one. You have to pick. You don't get both of them.
I'm gonna go Top Gun for the nostalgia. I think Top Gun Maverick's a better movie, but Top Gun is I was obsessed with forever.
Okay.
So
okay, all right, that's a good list. Daryl, you want to go? Or do you want me to go?
I'll jump in and go. That's fine.
Okay, go.
My honorable mentions were Remember the Titans. It's an honorable mention for me.
Yes, that one.
So that's on there. 300 was in my honorable mentions. As was Winter Soldier. Was in my honorable mentions. So those are my 3 honorable mentions. And I know Winter Soldier from a artistic standpoint, but it just completely encapsulates the awesomeness of Captain America from start to finish in that movie. Like he is just so.
Can I just say on point. This isn't really a spoiler, but because it's like literally in the trailer, I think. But like the jokes they made in Deadpool about the MCU and where it is now was hilarious.
It was great.
He's like you're kind of joining at a low point, and I was like, good Lord, like
it was great, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, my number 5, Avengers Endgame. Endgame was my number 5, and again, just 12 years of getting to that movie. I will never, ever forget being in the theater to watch that. Like,
there's not another experience that we could have had in the theaters like that one.
No, it was unreal. And everybody that went to watch it that opening weekend was the same. Like, it was so cool.
I still bring up videos of crowd reactions on YouTube. And like Callan and I or JC and I will just watch it and we'll just like relive that moment.
Yeah.
Dude, Endgame. I'm going to shout out your daughter, Daryl.
Oh, yes.
I was sitting next to her in the theater watching Endgame, and spoiler alert for anybody watching if you haven't seen it yet, when Black Widow dies, I look over at Logan, and she just starts
She lost
like
it,
I'm
bro.
like, I mean, melting. And I was like, oh my, I can't. I was like, I don't know how I can't look at. No, that was so.
Dude,
Yeah,
she was like loud crying, Troy. She was
Yeah,
she was loud cry sobbing. It was crazy. All
guys,
right.
I get it. I did the same thing. So
Oh, you've screwed me up here with my number 4, so I've got to go one of them.
make a choice. Be a man. Let's go.
there is a right choice here.
Number 4 for me is Star Wars: A New Hope. For me, it's not The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
I know that
I
that's
can live with that. I can
but
live with that.
New
Yeah.
Hope. And I think it's because
Great.
I started with that one,
Sure.
watched it all the time before I really got through the series. So it's probably more nostalgia. Number 3, Gladiator. It's number 3 on the list, without a doubt. My number 2.
Another you're having to choose on the series.
Again,
Yep.
there's a right choice to this one.
It's
Oh,
Two
I love
Towers.
it.
It's Two Towers. So Two Towers
Oh,
is
it's Two Towers. Okay.
Yeah. Fellowship. Fellowship and Two Towers are my favorite. Return of the King was still good, but I think Two Towers wins out on that one. I think that one was really,
Okay.
really good. And then the number 1, the original Top Gun.
Wow, you guys both have the Top Gun.
That's the only one I got on
Okay.
Jared's list. That's the only one that I knew might be in his top 5 or honorable mentions. That is it.
The real reason this is coming about is because my son is turning 13 in a week and a half, and I am going to be watching a couple of these movies. He has not been able to watch that. I have not let him watch a couple of these movies. That's on my list. And I will be like the day one is when he is 13, we are watching this movie, my number 1, which I'll get to. But that's really why it came about, because I've been rewatching it thinking I'm like, do I need to not let him watch these? I'm like, it's iffy, but I'm gonna do it anyways. So all right, my honorable mentions in game, all of the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, no. Just one, Troy. Just
No,
one.
all 3 of them are on my
Okay, that's your honorable
honorable
mentions.
mentions.
That's 4 movies. You can't do
And
17 movies.
and
your
the
honorable
Matrix.
mention.
And the Matrix
Okay.
is my honorable mention. My number 5, I thought I had the Matrix at number 5, but actually it's going to be the Dark Knight at number 5.
Okay.
Love
All right.
me. Best Batman movie of all time. It's up there for like Winter Soldier. If it's not a Batman movie,
Yeah.
if it was just a regular movie, it's a phenomenal movie. Same with Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
It's not a Captain America movie, it's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
My number 4 is actually Return of the King. I disagree with you. I like Return of the King more than the other 2 because it's the culmination.
Yeah.
Right?
You do
Like,
get like, yeah, I do like Return of the King that you get like 4 endings in one movie just for the value.
Dude, yeah, you think it's over and it just keeps going.
That's what I
Yeah.
didn't like about it, though. It was like,
No, that was me being sarcastic. I
Yeah.
was actually being sarcastic.
oh
Yeah,
man, I was like, we got to come to the end of this.
My number 3 is Empire Strikes Back. It's the best Star Wars movie.
It is.
I get the nostalgia where you're coming from, but Empire is the best.
Yeah.
Like it, period. And my number 2 is Gladiator. Freaking Russell Crowe in that movie is just, and I'm disappointed neither of you put this on your top 5 or honorable mentions. Honestly, my number 1. I honestly kind of want to pull your man cards for it. Is Braveheart is number 1.
That's fair.
Jared, don't even give that eye roll look.
It's a good flick. I don't argue with you at all. It's really, really, really good.
I went back and I watched it last night, actually.
It's in my top 10, just not in my top 8.
It is so crazy good. Oh my gosh. Because here's I went and saw it when I was 13 and a half, okay, with my dad. And my dad took me to see it at the Dollar Theater. We don't have that anymore.
Right.
And we went and saw it, and like I was bawling at the end of that movie. In the car, I was bawling because I equated it to Christ. I equated it to Jesus Christ and what he did for us, and going through all the stuff that he went through, and he didn't give in, and he did it for, his people, his everything. And so that's where I was like, I just made that correlation and I just lost it, man. So
this did make me think. This did make me think of one thing that I want to talk about before we wrap up real quick, because I think Troy might care. I don't know if Daryl cares. Whatever. Nobody cares what Daryl thinks anyway. So the Halo show got canceled, right? Paramount
Dude,
canceled
I
it, which
still
it was a
is season 2
travesty.
worth watching?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Travesty of a
That's
show. They basically did everything. Like, if you want a playbook of what not to do to make a Halo show, they did it.
Yeah.
Just go watch it, and it's basically what it is. Guess it was canceled for 2 days, and guess who is now rumored to have interest in making a series or show or movie about it?
Christopher Nolan.
Yes, sir.
No,
Wait,
I was
is
totally joking.
No, hold on. Are you saying he's going to continue it, or he's just going to do his own thing?
No, like my understanding is that he would like redo it.
So it'd just be his own thing.
Wow.
Of Halo.
Dude, I will say of him, the Inception is up there for me as well. That's
I
a
do
movie
love
that
Yeah.
Inception and Interstellar.
Yeah.
Like if Nolan makes a movie, I'm in the theater
Yeah.
day one watching.
Yeah. It was really Inception is still one that is very enjoyable to watch. The John Wick series was almost on my list. That was really hard to not put in the honorable mention, but I think just time. I had more time.
Like
300 and Remember the Titans.
Saving Private Ryan is another one that was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I put Fury. I put Fury up there because
Fury's
I think
really good.
Like Saving Private Ryan, and it's hard for me not to put Saving Private Ryan in my honorable mentions along with The Patriot. I love The Patriot.
Patriot's good. Dunkirk is really good.
Dunkirk's great.
There's a lot of movies that are up there, but yeah, I think. Well, no, I was actually shocked that Jared didn't put Gladiator anywhere in his honorable mention. That's the one that shocked me more than
even. I mean, it's definitely up there. 300's up there too, but the problem. Okay, here's me being a complete nerd. The reason I won't ever put 300 up there, even though as much as I love that movie as like a guilty pleasure, I want somebody to do like an actual like historically, like more historically accurate thing.
Well, that was off of the comic book. That was based on the comic book.
Yeah. No. I get that.
By
But
Frank
I'm saying
Miller.
like, yeah, but like the Spartans were like,
yeah. You're saying you just want something. Yeah. There's a new or no. There's a new Gladiator series, not 300 series. Gladiator series coming out. I can't remember which channel is going to be running it.
Oh no, you're right. It's
those
Peacock. It's Peacock.
Is it Peacock?
Yeah, it's Peacock.
oh yeah, the Rome.
We
one
are who prepared to die or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, the new Bond movies, Casino Royale, and some of those are phenomenal.
Oh, I watched Spectre. On the way on my flight home.
I can watch that one, man, all the time. It's one of my favorite ones.
Okay, let me ask this. Let me ask this real quick. Out of the Daniel Craig Bond movies, what is your favorite?
Ooh,
I need a list of them real quick.
Absolutely, Skyfall.
I mean, Skyfall's good, but
even though very close second, I didn't think it would be, is what was it, No Time to Die or whatever the last one was that they made. The last one that of his was.
I really like Spectre though. It's up there. That or Skyfall, but the last one was really good too. The way they closed it out was really good.
I'll rank them for you. And for me, the 5. Okay, 1. I'm with you, Jared. Is Skyfall for me. Skyfall, Casino Royale, No Time to Die, Spectre, Quantum Solace.
Yeah, Quantum Solace was definitely the weak.
It was kind of
series. Yeah,
the Spectre I would rank higher, but it had the same thing where like it had 2 or 3 endings.
But Skyfall is so good.
Skyfall is amazing.
What was Javier Bardem was the bad guy in Skyfall, right? He was so good as the bad guy.
Dude, speaking of that, somewhere down the line, Troy, we need to do a top 5 of Mission Impossible. That's another great series. Oh
my gosh. The newest one is a phenomenal, man.
Yes. I thought it was going to be a flop, but I was like, I'm going to go see it. And I loved it.
Okay, this is another movie. Here's another 2 movies that I would throw out there that we didn't put on. I don't know. They're probably not in my top 10, but they're very close. And that would be End of Watch. Have y'all seen that?
I
End of
have
Watch
not,
is really good.
but I've heard
Nightcrawler is another one. And by the way, like Jake Gyllenhaal has slowly become one of my favorite actors.
I hear he's crazy, but he's also pretty awesome at what he does.
Well, like the Nightcrawler thing, like they did a deal where like there was like he went to like psychologist and was like, what would I need to do to be like a psychopath? And like mastered it to the point that like the people were like, we couldn't tell that he was or was not acting. Like that
was Heath Ledger from The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
like he was like that on set and everything. Like, did you guys ever watch Mad Max Fury Road?
Yes.
Oh God, that is up there for me. It's probably a top 15, top 10 movie. So good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, is that all we got? We good?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the range.
The House of Dragons ending sucked.
I haven't watched it. Don't spoil anything, please. God, don't say
I've heard
anything.
both extremes. Gabe Eichert liked it. You don't like it. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I've heard a lot of people
I
say
can't
it was basically another like, hey, let's just we're not starting the war yet. The war's gonna actually be in season 3.
Winter is coming. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It was just not. Yeah. It was not fantastic.
Have either of you watched Suits?
no.
Yes.
The series. So JC, like I have told JC I don't want to watch anything until we finish Suits. Like I have been, it's probably one of my top 5 shows of all time now.
Wow.
I'm in middle of season 8, and it's so good.
It does get. I feel like it was really strong. Like the first like 4 or 5 seasons, it was really good. I felt like it did. It's not as good after that, but like it's still really good.
Once Mike leaves, I have not liked season 8 as much, nearly as much. In season 7, he was kind of a D-bag, but there's stuff that happens at the end of season 6, going into season 6 and 7 that is just kind of crazy. And it's so good, man. It's so good.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Daryl doesn't watch TV though. Has all my logins.
I am still trying to
just
get
watch
through
them.
Wrexham. That's been my goal, is to finish
I need to
Hey,
get
Wrexham.
that
hey,
too.
hey! In Deadpool, he actually does make a few references to like
Yeah.
there's some Easter eggs about Wrexham in there.
Nice. I love it. I love it. So, well, very quickly before we finish this podcast, I do want to very quickly say happy anniversary to my wife. Tomorrow is 20 years for me and the missus.
Oh, look at y'all.
Condolences to her.
Well done.
Want to drop that
That's
in.
awesome.
And so, yes, she is endured and I'm grateful for it. So, yeah. So, husbands, you should be doing the same thing, is regardless if it's your anniversary or not. Why don't you take today and just go home and say, thanks, babe. Just thanks. Thanks for being here. So,
Yeah, I'll
be
do
a good
that.
win for you. Husbands. Go to Canada. Okay, so we're gonna close with that. This is again the Just Okay Sports Podcast. Please like, subscribe, do all the things. It would help us a lot. We would appreciate it. Thank you for those of you that do listen. It means a lot to us. And so we hope you are having a great time, because we definitely are too. I'm Daryl. That's Jared. That's Troy. And we will talk to you guys later.
Bye, Baker.